Today I've got Kelly Romani with me.
Hello.
One of our Ranches specialists.
Indeed, yes.
So like I said, let's jump straight into it. So the first question, I don't think I've actually asked you this before. Like, why did you actually move it? Like, what made Kelly Romani think, you know what, I'm gonna move to Dubai?
Just from being in the UK, and I was in a really good job in Putney, but my children were always busy. I hadn't settled down with a partner. I was just working, and I'd always sort of thought about living in Dubai, and working in Dubai. I actually manifested it for a year. I had a bottle of champagne in my fridge, and I had a sticky note on it, and it was when I get the job in Dubai. And it just so happened that I sold a property to a lady at Putney, and she was just talking, saying that she lived in Dubai and she knew Carl Lewis.
Yeah, in fact, you've told me this before.
Yeah, and it turned out she knew Carl Lewis, and she said, Kelly, you would be amazing. She actually said to me, what company, like, what would you do in Dubai? And I said, real estate. I've been looking into it for a year. And she said to me, you would be amazing out there because you've been so good at progressing my sale in Putney. And here I am. I think there was some, I was very apprehensive about making the decision to come here. It was all very good and all very shiny in my head, but then when reality set in, and it was like, oh my gosh, like my children, my family, my friends, people that I love, I'm leaving behind, but I'm not actually leaving them behind, but you are in a sense.
Yeah.
And that was a lot for me to deal with emotionally. But
Absolutely.
Everyone was really supportive, especially my children. They was like, Mum, go for it. They can come and visit me, and it would be more quality time that we'd have together.
Yeah. Just on that, I think what a lot of people don't realise is when you come into somewhere like Dubai, people don't understand, or they see all the good things. You go in here, you go in there. They only see the highlights. What people don't understand is, that you are, when you get a second, when you're not working, which, as we know, and I always say, this job's more of a lifestyle than it's a job. So when you actually have a chance to actually sit down, that's when you really do start thinking about, obviously, your family, what you are sacrificing. There's a lot that people don't understand about the job that it is difficult. Of course, there's such amazing things in Dubai, but you are leaving a lot behind, and there's a lot of sacrifice there as well. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think because I'm a very homely person, I used to, cook a roast dinner for the kids and my son-in-law on Sunday. When you get a big house, I will.
There you go. We're saving. We'll get there.
But, I really miss those moments, them special moments, of just having the family around, cooking a roast, watching a bit of Netflix, chilling, watching them fall asleep because I've eaten too many potatoes and Yorkshire puddings, But those were my special moments. And on a Sunday now, I'm working, and then I'll, prepare like dinner, and then just chill really. And it can be really lonely, and that's when I've got photos all in my home of everyone, especially my children, just to make me feel like like I've got them near me.
Yeah, sure.
Because I don't even think they realise how much I miss them.
Oh, I don't.
No, they do.
Interesting. Okay, so let's go back to the very start. So when you first started the job, obviously you've done real estate, or estate agency as they call it.
For 11 years.
11 years. And then obviously coming over here, I know, but people watching, you obviously started in lettings like I did as well.
Which wasn't my first choice. I actually came to do sales, but I do not regret it one bit. There was a little sort of curveball that was thrown at me to say, we can offer you Arabian Ranches if you do lettings, and which I at first I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? But I'm really glad that I've done it, because now I have moved into sales. I've got lots of contacts. I've built lots of relationships with landlords that are going to invest in the future in Dubai. So, and I learned to get around, the ranches really a lot quicker than it would have been in sales, because sales is a lot slower, as you know.
Exactly. See, the thing I always say to people is, you can make lettings is obviously, faster pace, you'll earn money quicker. Sales, when you do, a sale, you're going to be paid more on it. But the one thing that you can't take away from someone who's done letters in the past, I always think, is that no one knows how to negotiate better than a letters agent. So when you then push that on to when you move to sales, that part of the job is not something that you're ever going to struggle with, in my opinion.
I think as well, because as you know, it's so fast paced. I mean, we was like headless chickens, both of us in lettings, I was never in the office. I was always out on viewings. I was doing, 30, 40 viewings a week.
Yeah, you have to have a lot more availability.
Yeah, I lost a bit of my weight back then as well.
Still looking good, Kels.
Thank you.
Still looking good.
But yeah, so I just think going from that sort of crazy hustle and bustle, manic, to being back in the office and calling out, it's a big transition. It's a lot to take. But the money is a lot greater. So
excellent. So obviously you do Arabian Ranches.
I do.
Do you want to talk briefly about, what Arabian Ranches is, what kind of community it is, what separates somewhere like, I don't know, Dubai Hills or any other like new up and coming community compared to somewhere like Ranches?
So personally, for my own personal outlook and opinion on Arabian Ranches, why it's different from the rest is because I just find that it's so mature. It's just got a more Arabian feel to it. It's very green. I love Dubai Hills. I'm loving Talawa Gaff as well. But it's your preference, whether you want the new or whether you want that old, because you've got to think as well. A lot of the developers like Emar, for instance, Arabian Ranches 3, they've shrunk in size significantly, to Arabian Ranches 1 and 2. So that is just mind blowing how different they are in size, and it's just got a completely different feel to it. But my personal outlook is Arabian Ranches is a premium address. When it was built, a lot of people you would say, "Oh my goodness, that is miles away. No one's going to live there." And now, it's completely full.
100%.
And it's just got a lot going for it.
Now you got 2 and 3 as well. Ranches 2 and 3. But
correct.
To be fair, that's actually one of the things that I always said is either I'd get a THL, which is like a 3-bed large in Damac Hills, and upgrade it, or somewhere in Ranches. I actually always said that.
And this is another thing, you okay, say for instance you buy the older style property, but once you've upgraded it, they look absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah.
A little story, I had a lady, I won't mention any names, but I took her in my car and I took her around all the communities when I was in leasing. And she loved Dubai Hills. She was set on Dubai Hills. Then her friend in Arabian Ranches owned a property and she's let her live in it for 6 months. She messaged me the other day and she said, "I want Arabian Ranches. I did not want Dubai Hills now." And I was like, "I'm in sales, but it's okay. We can help. Don't worry."
Yeah.
So but that's a little, it just goes to show you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, for sure. On obviously you as an agent to shine the light on Kelly. One thing I actually do admire about you, right, is I like real people for one. You know me, and you get along. Before off camera, we'd have him film, just even getting this out. But like, I don't know anyone that does as many viewings as you that gets out like with people, and I think that's part of the job. Is anyone can send a WhatsApp to a landlord, seller, buyer. But I think getting in front of them, especially when you got like such a big personality, that is, I always say like, I was speaking to someone the other week and it all kind of, how to explain it. So who would you rather buy a house from, right? Just some random agent that sends you a WhatsApp, or, does it even, bother to give you a call, or so, like, for example, them or Annandette. which seems like a weird.
100% answer.
It seems like a weird
100%.
analogy. Well, the reason I say that is because, and this is why, you know, obviously podcasts and stuff, it's good to let people know about a bit about who you are as a person.
You build rapport.
Yeah.
It's all about building rapport and, you know, treating that person as your friend, you know, as you're going to help them and that you care. You know, the difference, I think, with some agents is they just want the money, you know, whereas I go that extra mile for my clients and I can, you know, and it's all about putting that effort in, really, and going that extra mile.
Yeah. Obviously, like, in this job, we all run a commission-only role. We have to make money, but I think you're the same with me in this, in, like, you'll want to do the morally right thing for your client first. Because I know for me personally, it sounds a bit cringy, but the first thing I always think is the way that I am and the way that I'm in the job, would my mum and dad be proud and happy with the way that I do business? And I think it's so important, like, you're like me in the respect of you're very transparent and very black and white. You'll always let your client know, you know, the goods, the bads of whatever it is that you're talking about. Just like lay all on the table, cards on the table. And that.
People can see through that as well, you know, when you're not real, it just shines through. And I've been told that by a lot of my clients.
Yeah.
They've said, you know, we feel we can trust you, and you know, we know you're just real, and you're giving us the best advice and the best options. So I've had quite a lot of feedback on that, and they have said that, you know, how many agents haven't had their best interest at heart.
Yeah.
So it does happen.
You know, it's funny, I've not even written down any questions. This is just literally just off the cuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, for you, where do you think that, obviously, where you are at your journey, so you've transitioned from lettings to sales now.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself being, or where do you hope to be? In fact, I know you will be, but where do you want to be in, let's say, Kelly Romani in 2 years' time? Do you want to be purchasing your own property here?
Yes.
Do you want to be senior? Like, what is like the goal for you in, like, say, 2 years' time?
So I'm, you know, I'm a manifester, and I got my crystal, and I stand at the window in the office every day at 11:11 saying I am a millionaire, and I do believe it will come true, because I believe in that. But again, it's a goal, and it's not about, oh, I want to be a millionaire for the money. It's just a goal of mine.
Yeah.
Because that's what I came to Dubai to do. I came to become a millionaire, and I will make it happen.
I love that.
So it's all about positivity. Yeah, I would like to buy a buy-to-let investment in Dubai.
Okay.
A couple actually, and rent them out.
Where would you buy?
I'll tell you that another time. No, to be honest, I think I would go off plan.
Okay.
I think I would purchase off plan. There's quite a number of developments going on at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, I do think off plan would be my route to go down.
Nice. Off what you just said off the back of the manifestation thing, it come to mind. I don't know if you know what I'm going to say. Do you remember that time when you said you need to write on the villa mine? So this is actually quite a good story. So basically, what Kelly did is she said to me, "What you need to do, you're going to sell this villa." So it was a villa that was up for 9 million dirham. So it's quite it's a substantial deal. It's a big deal. With my colleague that we had going on. And Kelly said, you need to write down on the thing, screenshot,
yeah,
and then write it down and put mine. So we ended up thinking that the property was obviously sold. And then I just thought, do you know what? I'll reach out to the seller's PA one more time, you know, just to see if it has definitely been sold. So she said to me, yeah, like everything's done. And then I thought, something just doesn't feel like completely done. So I said to her, okay, like, is the Form F signed? As we all know, the MOU is like the agreement to sale and the buy, where between the buyer and seller, and that is when it is a done deal.
Yeah.
Whereas she said, well, actually, we're waiting for the buyer to sign. which had been going on for a couple of weeks now, and it just so happened that it was my unit, and my colleague and I'm in the cash fire closed it. So it just goes to show you that the manifestation thing really is a real thing.
I mean, yeah, I've done it myself on properties. So it definitely 100% does. And Jack in the office the other day, I made him do it and he got an offer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's amazing.
I think Jim Carrey did it. I don't know if you've heard about it. He said, I think he was like really, really broke. And he said on like David Letterman, like, you know, I do have these things that are out there. I think he wrote himself a check for like $1 million.
Yeah.
I've
got a check written in my...
All about out straight. But he dated it. Thanksgiving 99 or something like that. And then I think it was like he was doing one of like the bigger films. He did like Dumb and Dumber. And literally, I think on that day or a couple of days before, he got a check written out for him for $1 million. So it just goes to show you that it is a real thing.
I know. It's amazing.
So
you've got to believe to achieve. That's my motto, you know. But I must say that it's not, you know, we really want to sort of reach out to like newcomers in Allsop and Allsop. That yes, it's hard at the beginning. You know, it's really hard. I mean, I've cried quite a lot of tears. As you know.
Always a show that time, Kels.
But yeah, I mean, at the very beginning, it's not all rosy, shiny Dubai, you know. It's not all glitz and glamour. It is those times where you think, where am I getting my rent from? Where am I getting my money to pay for my car? Where am I getting food money? You know, where am I getting my petrol from?
Okay.
You know, and it's a lot to deal with because it's commission only. You know, I went 4 months without anything, and it was tough. And I worked from 8 till 8, 7 days a week, and I turned it around. And then I won an award, as you know, at the award ceremony.
Which I was about to mention, Matt. So Kelly actually won one of the awards. We had like our award ceremony a couple of, was it 2 weeks ago? Not last Friday before, wasn't it?
Friday before, yeah.
And Kelly won the award.
Yeah.
And honestly, well deserved. I was buzzing when you got out. And it's well done, truly.
I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh.
One question I've got is, would you say that, okay, like when coming into the office and everything like that, like in terms of organisation, would you say organised chaos or chaos organised? Meaning, do you have like set out things, a to-do list? I know me personally, like I'm probably more organised chaos. Like I'm all over the place at times, but then I'd sit down and go, right, this is what I need to do. I know things spring in my mind. I need to speak to this buyer and speak to that buyer.
I'm a list person. Like I have to have a list, and if I don't have a list, then it's not happening. And also my home, if I have a tidy home, I have a tidy mind because I've got a little bit of OCD going on. So, you know, if I've got everything done at home and everything's all, you know, spick and span and I'm organised in that area of my life, then my mind is clear. But I don't think you can always stick to, you know, a schedule, so to speak, in this job because a viewing might come up or something important might come up and you've got to go and do a meeting or, you know, so I think I try to be as regimental as I can, but it is hard sometimes, you know.
It's a hard job. I totally agree with what you're saying there. And the thing is, and I don't know if I've told you this before, right? Someone actually, it was a bit, a buyer that was very interrogating. He was a nice guy. I was happy to work with him, but he said to me, when I pay your fees, you need to tell me exactly and write a list as to what I'm actually paying for. And at the time, I was kind of a bit thrown back by it. I didn't really know what to say, but I thought about it a lot since then. And I've spoken to one of my colleagues about it, and the job is so hard because, like you said, it's a lifestyle. You can't just go 9 o'clock till 5 and then you're done. You know, you're working sometimes. There's been times where I'm sure you are.
In Nettins, I was working till 11 midnight.
That's what I mean. On the laptop, you are working. You need to be Because if you're not and you're not there and available, especially more so in lettings, I think, then someone will just go and
You'll lose it, exactly. And I think in lettings as well, it's so fast paced. You're out doing viewings all day. Well, we was. And you've got to catch up on your admin in the evening because tomorrow is another rat race.
Yeah.
So if you don't get that admin done, that evening, you're ruined for the next day because you're not going to keep on top of it. So I was always on my laptop till very late at night. So a lot different in sales because you have more time in the office and you have more time for admin, but you've got to get them calls in. You've got to get listings because listings brings leads and leads brings money.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny because about the call, about making calls and stuff like that, he just said, that was one of the things that when I said I thought about a lot to understand, it's obviously the lifestyle and everything, the time that you put into the job.
Yeah.
But if I said to a buyer, all right, here's a sheet with 4,000 names and we'll go and call through the whole list, do you find one property? Some of these buyers and sellers, landlords, you can be literally, I know people, and even myself, you're probably the same, where you've been working with these guys, these like sellers for a year, 2 years, to even get them to list it online.
Yeah.
Working away at them, it's a job that it's a longer game, especially like when you move to sales as well.
Yeah.
For someone to list with you, they might have free agents on it already, so you
Correct.
have to work offline. And ultimately, nothing is done until it's done. So, and look, you win some, you lose some. You have to take the rough or the smooth with the job, but you might be out viewing with a buyer for 6 months and then you don't get paid. But that is part of the job, and this is what people don't understand is, people come in, they think they're going to make it straight away, which I admire the attitude, but we see some of these, I don't call them kids, but some of the younger lot that do come in with their best suits, ready to go, and then they get a bit of a wake-up call.
Well, I think with the the younger generation in real estate, I think it's easy to get sucked into the lifestyle here. Whereas I'm older, so I like to watch a bit of Netflix on my.
Not there over 25.
Thanks, Josh. You're making me go red. But I just think there's a lot of partying going on out there, and it's very enticing for the youngsters.
Yeah.
They make a bit of money, they go and spend it on some brunches or, go into the mall and buying a designer bag or whatever. But everyone to their own, but I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
And I enjoy my weekends to chill or to work, or I might go to the beach and ground myself, don't get me wrong. I do go out sometimes.
Yeah, balance though, isn't it?
You've got to have a balance. Yeah. 100%, because this job needs your full attention.
Okay. So lastly, anyone that is thinking, do you know what, I want to come to Dubai, I want to make a bit more money, or the change in lifestyle, obviously you got the sun, tax-free, all that. I think, to be honest, as well, it was different for me. It was mindset. It was people's mindset. All the other stuff, the side of Dubai that is a bit more, showy. I wasn't really interested in that. It was more, about people's mindsets, being around people that got good work ethic. A lot of them don't know. What advice would you give to someone that's thinking of packing the bags and just going over?
But I would say come financially secure. That is my biggest part of advice that I could give. Make sure you've got money. My personal advice is to go and rent somewhere for a year straight away. Don't stay in Airbnbs and everything. Just find somewhere for a year, put the money down for the whole year and forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just pay a year upfront rent. That's what I would do. And then it doesn't make sense less off.
And I'll be honest, I've been behind on my rent, and luckily I was really nice landlord. They've been brilliant.
That would be good advice, wouldn't it?
100%.
Rent for a year, even pay your car up front for a year, and then the rest is peanuts. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they're your two main factors, I think. And the biggest thing in this job is you cannot have money worries when you're doing this job.
No.
Because it comes out in your phone calls, it comes out when you're meeting clients, You've got to be positive. You've got to be energetic. You've got to provide a good service. How are you going to do that if you're struggling financially?
100%. That's one thing that it was actually Finn and Flanagan said to me once. I remember I was in a bit of a struggle with money, like a complete mess, to be honest. But he said to me, look, like, because I was thinking about going to off-plan, ended up going into sales and demand. But granted, he sat me down and, you know, he's always got time for anyone, as you know. And he said to me,
amazing.
Oh, great, absolutely great guy, which is our off-plan director.
Yeah.
He literally said, like, there's a big difference, Josh, between financial stress and financial pressure.
Yeah.
Like pressure's good. Stress is just, you can't, like you said, you can't perform in the job if that's the case.
It's written all over your face, and it comes out in desperation.
No, it can't.
You know, you're out with a client, and
I don't realise
they almost can feel the desperation from you.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to let it go. You've just got to relax, and you just got to say what is meant to be will be. You know, everything in life is like that. You've just got to let the universe do its thing. You know.
So, obviously, like you said, if someone can make sure that they've got no financial stress with, like, the main two things, which is your car and a place to live, essentially.
My next part of advice would be get your head down, at least for the first 6 months. Don't go partying. Just get your head down. Work. At the end of the day, the clubs aren't going anywhere. The brunches aren't going anywhere. The desert isn't going anywhere. The Burj Khalifa is not going anywhere. You know, all the sightseeing, all the partying, it's not going anywhere. Get your head down for the first 6 months.
100%. And at least then you can go out to these places, enjoy them, and not actually have to think, oh, I shouldn't really be doing this, but I'll worry about when I have to, because trust me, there's a difference between what I've learned is going, you know, you only live once, like, not to be morbid, but might not be here tomorrow kind of thing. And also the other side, which is it'll be there tomorrow, crack down, and then, you know, later down the line, you won't have to worry anywhere near about the money troubles and stress.
Definitely not. And I think the turnaround for me, when I did start earning very good money in lettings, was I got addicted to it, and I just it was like an adrenaline for me.
Yeah.
You know, doing all those viewings. If I did a book over 20 viewings, I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
You know. So I think it can be really good for your self-esteem. It can be really good that it's rewarding.
100%. I think that's one thing that people chase more than the money sometimes. Like, the money obviously comes with, you know, but the leaderboard, like, people want to be not recognised for doing well, but like more within themselves.
Oh, I used to love it. I used to go on there, see where I was like, right, that's it.
Well, it's good competition though, because, and this is the thing, like, you know, you surround yourself with millionaires, you're more than likely, say you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you're more likely to become that same millionaire.
Who you're around.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, it really is.
Be around good energy.
Big believer in that. Truthfully. It took me a long time to realise, but people's energies are massive. Like, if you're around me, like, don't get me wrong, we're all allowed a little complaint here and there, but like, if you're going to literally be in the lift on the wheel and you're already complaining, just get away from me. Right? I'd rather, do you know what I mean? Like, I would say to people, like, this is no disrespect to anyone that's working in Greggs, go and work in real estate instead. But I say, look, you could be worse, you could be working in Greggs. You know, you could be stacking shelves. It's not.
Or, you know, another thing, you know, health is wealth as well. 100%. I always say because I help quite a lot of people, you know, emotionally and mentally. Because I've been there, you know, and I think I always say, you know, you've got your health, you had the chance, and you're lucky to wake up today. A lot of people aren't, you know, and I think if you've got that, you feel blessed in all areas of your life.
What a lovely way to end. That was really nice, and that is why I love Kelly. Yeah. So yeah. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. You know, we can get Kelly back on if interested. And yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, everyone.